My state has now joined with other states pushing a chemtrail ban legislation through the House. And this woman from State Representative Kimberly Landry Coates, representative from Ponchatoula, which is like 20 miles from me, basically defended SB 46 on the House floor, saying she is concerned about aircraft leaving white streaks across the sky. She claims they're creating clouds and affecting weather patterns. The bill is to prevent any chemicals above us in the air, specifically to modify the weather. EPA says they're contrails, you idiot. They are formed when hot aircraft exhaust meets cold atmospheric conditions. Well, why they make the pattern, Jumbo? Anyway, but Coates and other lawmakers refer to the lines as chemtrails, and she claims they're made of nanochemicals that alter the weather. State Rep Candace Newell asked about the chemicals, and she said, other than the nanoparticles of aluminum, what else have you found? Barium. There's a few, some with long words that I can't pronounce, she says, but she just can't do it. Coates also claimed NOAA sends chemicals in the clouds to reflect sunlight and cool the Earth's surface. However, NOAA says it does no such thing and doesn't plan to. And then State Rep Willard says, who is doing this? Multiple people, multiple group, contractors even. Who are the contracts with? I've seen documents with at least 9 federal agencies. She regularly sees them because she lives in Ponchatoula and New Orleans International. The Harvey TACAN flies right to the Alexandria TACAN to Dallas, which is where all the airliners go. It's a jet route, but whatever. Once a week, you see people releasing stuff in the airway to the on the way to the Capitol. So I just need to look up. Probably haven't been looking up, Marcel says. And then 58 other idiots said yes to 32 non-idiots. They said that if you see it, call the Louisiana Air National Guard. They will scramble the alert eagles.
Oh boy.
And
hell
then,
yeah.
Flight time, baby.
She wants them to understand better. And dude, what?
Didn't we cover this like
Tennessee did this?
But that was like an April Fool's joke, wasn't it? We got bamboozled.
No, it turned out to be real.
Oh, it can't be real, dude.
Idiocracy has become a documentary, dude. I don't know how clear much like.
I don't understand. You know, I have asked. I have had friends of mine, like outside of aviation, ask me, like, "Hey, man, just the chemtrail thing, that's fake, right?" I'm like, yeah. Like, just to be sure. I mean, I don't know. If you're not a pilot, I mean, I guess you'd be like, "Why are they making them white streaks up there?"
Well,
right?
dude, I go back to our tactical time, as short as it was. You know, remember we would be up there and we would be marshaling and be like, marking, check cons, because we didn't want to be in the cons, because that's part of the, hey, we don't want them to see us and stuff. Yeah. Like you could see the altitude, and sometimes it would be geographical, where it would be one section of air and not another. But hey, we would brief it. It was part of our weather brief. The contrail level today is flight level, whatever, 410, 369, whatever it is. Yep. They do not teach enough science in school.
Yes.
Maybe
it's common sense. I don't know.
It's not even that. Look, there's no, like, homeless people have iPhones, like, in this day and age. So, like, there's no, like, I don't care if you don't know what causes a contrail. What I care about is that you're too stupid to just do the modicum amount of research required to figure out what it is. That's the problem.
Well, hold on. So I'll argue that, because you're right. There is plenty of information. The problem is there's plenty of wrong information. You know, the flat earth people, the chemtrail people, like what they'll do is one person will take a modicum of truth, just something small, like just weather mod, for example, Gonky's weather mod that he did where I was a cloud seeder. Yeah, he was a cloud seeder.
Yes.
They'll take that little bit and then they'll doctor a picture. They'll take a picture of water barrels in a 747 doing weight testing, you know, for Boeing. And then they'll create this whole narrative. And then that gets spread. And then people, you know, it's the confirmation bias where they're looking for more information to prove their theory. And then they find like-minded individuals who also are idiots.
Echo chamber.
And they're right. They create this echo chamber, and then the echo chamber amplifies it to the point where they're convincing people now who don't otherwise know. And the first thing when they Google it is like, Oh yeah,
Well,
and then
Dude, I just Googled it and AI's got it right. Didn't say anything about like, there we go. The mind control juice that's probably coming out of that thing. I mean, like Casmo said, if you Google it,
dihydrogen monoxide is a dangerous chemical, dude. I'm just
Everyone who's ever consumed it has or will die.
yeah.
But I think what isn't it like Sweden or something, like they actually have a class in high school where they teach about misinformation. So I don't think that the issue is we don't teach enough science. I think the issue is we don't teach enough, I don't want to say common sense, but like how to live in this day and age, right? Because the internet and all the social media is still in the grand scheme of things. So it's brand new. It's brand new. And we don't know how to interpret it. And a lot of people just are, I mean, God, you don't spend 30 minutes on Facebook and you'll cite 1,000 examples of people that just like the AI picture. I keep loving seeing like an AI picture of Pete Hegseth like stopping on the side of the road to help wounded vets make a hamburger, and it's like the hamburger's like floating off the side of a spatula. It's clearly AI. The words on his thing are just gibberish. And there's Margaret, 80-year-old I love Christ on her Facebook page, and she's like, he's such a great guy, and it's like dude, it's not a real picture.
Well, even worse, I was scrolling the other day and there was this picture of a soldier with his dog in the water with the canine, and the canine also had a ballistic helmet on. And you go to the comments and they're like, oh, such a brave dog. I'm glad they're protecting his head. Oh, it's like, you dumbass.
But Mover, dude, you've talked about this, man. It's the TikTok, right? Everybody sees it. It's a 15-second clip, right? The endless 15-second clips, and it just starts like reprogramming your brain. I mean, like there, like do you get your face out of a phone, disconnect from the internet, like freaking do things outside, right? I mean, you can.
Well, that's the problem. Somebody corrected me outside, and she looked up and she's like, "Oh my God, it's never been."
Yeah, but no, but what she did is she saw something she didn't understand when it looked it up on the internet. And the first thing that came up was like chemtrails or whatever, and then she goes down this rabbit hole into the echo chamber, and I mean, without realizing, dude, it's
I bet you a constituent came to her and they were at like something and she's like, what we really need to fix is them damn governments spraying us with the mind control. That's why they vote like they do. And like, I guarantee you that's how that started. And she's like, oh, well, tell me more. And then, Numbnuts feeds all the bull that becomes this bill. And next thing you know, we're talking about this on the show.
Well, isn't Louisiana like 49th in education?
Doug?
It's a race between us, Mississippi, and New Mexico most years.
Hell yeah!
I will say that my kids started homeschool when we lived in Louisiana, and it was before COVID. So,
my kids are homeschooled. I had to tell my dad like 15 years ago, Dad, not everything on the internet's true. Like, just pretend it's the National Enquirer. Like, does that even exist anymore?
Well, and I think that people are going on this weird tangent, but I think people of that age, because they grew up with very reputable sources.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like doctors, right? Like, oh, doctors know everything. It's not really, right? But like of that age, like, well, Dr. John said that it's,
Yeah. No, you're right, guys. 100%, man. I mean, I've even watched. Dude, for just giggles, I've watched like old newsreels from, whatever, the moon land. And you just listen to the way they talk. It's very factual. There's not.
Right. Welcome to BBC. This is the news.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Too much editorializing in the news.
Oh, yeah.